Right. Good afternoon, good people. Once again, my name is Hendrik Makaneta, and we are proceeding with our uh, lesson on mathematics. Able to look at how we can answer. You can stop me at any time just to ensure that we answer your questions. Now, today we will be looking at some of these uh, problems in relation to, of course, common fractions, and then we will look at how we can convert the common fractions uh, into percentage, without using a calculator, but also to convert using calculators. So there are two ways there in which we can do this. Alternatively, we should be able to also calculate percentage of rents and then using calculators as well. So we are going to start now with the first one. And remember, this can be used a lot in financial mathematics. So the first things first, let us now look at the two questions that will follow. And then, of course, we can take it from there. Now, the question says, find the equivalent. Find the equivalent of where the denominator is 100. So you need to find the equivalent fractions with denominators of 100, and then you can write their answers as a percentage. So when you convert a fraction, into a percentage, the first thing that you need to do is to realize that you can actually turn your fraction into an equivalent fraction where the denominator is 100. So if the denominator is 100, then the numerator becomes your percentage. All right, I hope that it makes sense. I hope that it makes sense. If the numerator is 100, then the denominator becomes your percentage. Now I'm going to demonstrate with an example. If we have 7 over 10, 7 over 10 can be written as 70 over 10. And how do you do this? You multiply the denominator 10 there by 10 in order to get 100. So it means that your denominator is now 100. So now, once your denominator is 100, then you know that your numerator becomes your percentage. So example, 7 over 10 here, you can see the denominator is 10 and the numerator is 7. So we multiply 10 by 10 to get 100 because we want to make the denominator to be 100. And now that the denominator is 100, remember that whatever you do to the denominator must also be done to the numerator. So whatever you do to the denominator should be done also to the numerator. And of course, now that we have multiplied 10 by 10 to get 100, you must also multiply 7 by 10 to get 70. So meaning that 70 will be your actual percentage. So now your percentage in this case will be 70. I hope that it makes sense. I hope that it makes sense. 70 being your percentage. Let me put this thing the stand still so that you can hear me properly. Right. We are this. So this is the example. Basically, this is the example that I have used, which you can learn a lot from if you want to convert any fraction into a percentage. So this is the example that you can use. Without any waste of time, I'm just going to zoom directly into some of the activities which I want us to look at. And please feel free at any time if you have any questions. As I said, welcome everyone. I see that some of you have just joined. Right, just to give you some of the activities, we are starting here with the 12/20. And of course, we are converting this to a percentage. As I said earlier on, without using a calculator, you can convert this to a percentage. Look at the denominator in 12/20, the denominator is 20. Now, what is that number that you use to convert 20 into 100? In other words, what is that number that you'll multiply 20 with in order to get 100? If you know the number, please put it in the group chat. What is the number that you use to multiply 20? If you multiply 20 with that number, you get 100. Okay, Tlantla has already answered that. Tlantla says the number is 5. Okay, Tlantla, I fully agree with you. The number is 5. And remember, so we multiplied 20 by 5 in order to get 100. Remember, one thing for sure is that whatever you do in the left-hand side, in fact, in the denominator, should be done also to the numerator. This actually means that now that you've multiplied 20 by 5, then you'll also multiply 12 by 5. I see Ntantla says then the answer will be 60 out of 100, yes. And Lesedi says it will be 60%. And Tlantla again says 60%. Yes, I fully agree. So 12 times 5 is 60%. Can we now move to the next one, which is 1/5? Let's convert 1/5 into a percentage or into percentage form. Let's convert 1/5 into percentage form, right? The first one, I see Lesedi says you multiply 20 by 5. Yes, I fully agree. Can you see 1/5? The denominator is 5. So if you want to convert the denominator into 100, then you simply multiply 5 by 20. And let's say Kylie Elswell's found 20%, let's say 20%, and then Tlantla 20%, yes. And remember that once you have multiplied 5 by 20, that gives you 100. So whatever you do to the denominator must also be done to the numerator. So the numerator will be 1 multiplied by 20, and then the answer will be 20%. So 20% will be our percentage there. Now we can proceed to C. In C, we have 15 out of 25. That says it will be 20%. Lesedi also says 20. I don't know if you're, oh, no, Ntantla says you multiply by 4. Yes, Ntantla, I agree with you. You multiply 25 by 4. And 25 multiplied by 4 will be 100. So remember that whatever you do to the denominator must also be done to the numerator, because the value of your fraction should never be compromised. It should stay the same. So Lesedi found 60%, Tlantla also found 60%, and Cesar 60%. And how do you find 60%? Then it means you multiply 15 by 4. Remember, 25 times 4, which is the denominator there, gives you 100. And then 15 times 4 will give you 60. So 60% will be the correct answer. I see that most of you are now in the last one. As Lesedi says, you multiply the 50 by 2. Great, Lesedi, that's correct. Followed by Tlantla. Tlantla also says we need to multiply 50 by 2. Yes, I agree. And Cesar found 72%, followed by Lesedi, followed by Tlantla. Yes, I agree as well, because once you multiply 50 by 2, it means you must also multiply the numerator by 2. So that you can have 72 out of 100. And as we said when we started the lesson, 72 becomes your percentage. So definitely. Now you have managed to calculate the percentage in this format. And then, of course, we can zoom directly into the next activity. The first one being, we've now calculated the different percentages. Remember, the denominator plays a role, in a sense that once you convert the denominator, then it will be easier now. You convert also the numerator. So the numerator that you get out of 100, that is your percentage. Right, let's proceed now. I want you to now convert the following without using a calculator. So you need to convert the following fractions into percentage without using a calculator. So if you have a calculator, please put it aside. We are not going to need it now. We will be using our brains just to figure out and multiply without the help of a calculator. Fine. Let's start with A. And of course, that is 3 over 4. You can see that our denominator is 4. So the hint is convert the denominator into 100. You need to convert your denominator into 100. Excuse me, and then of course, there's a number that you need to use to multiply 4 with. What is that number? Okay, Ntantla says that number is 25. So if you multiply 4 by 25, you get 100. So thereafter, you take the same number, 25, you multiply that with 3, which is the numerator. And I've seen Ntantla had done it before. Ntantla found 75%. So the final answer there will be 75. So 75 will be the percentage. Lesedi also got 75 in the first fraction there, which is A, 3 over 4. Right, can we now proceed to calculate the 4 over 5? Let's calculate the percentage there. The denominator in this case is 5. Lesedi, I agree with you. Tlantla, I also agree with you. You got 80%. Lesedi says we multiply 5 by 20. I agree with Lesedi, because if you multiply 5 by 20, you get 100. But remember that whatever you do to the denominator should also be done to the numerator. So 4 over 5, you multiply 5 by 20, and then 4 as well. You multiply 4 by 20. So 4 times 20 is 80. So 80% is your answer there. And then in C, I see that Lesedi is already busy with C, where you are multiplying 50 by 2. In the first one in B, you were multiplying 5 by 20, okay, by 20 years, and then 4 by 20 to get 80. So in C, if you multiply 50 by 2, you get 100. And then if you multiply 6 by 2, you get 12. So let's say this is correct. 12%. I hope that we are not fast and that everybody is following up to so far. I hope so. I hope that everybody is fine. Let us carry on. Ntantla also says 12%. Right. Right. The next one, of course, is D. Right. The next one is D. And then in D, the denominator is 25. And Lesedi says we need to multiply 25 by 4. I agree with you, Lesedi. We need to multiply 25 by 4 in order to get 100. And thereafter, as Lesedi correctly puts it, then you'll have 36 out of 100, because once you multiply 25 by 4 to get 100, you need to also multiply 9 by 4. And then 9 times 4 is 36. So 9 times 4 is 36. So 36% is our percentage. I hope that you have been able to learn a few lessons in as far as converting the fractions to percentages concerned. And by the way, this we have done without using a calculator. Now I'm going to give you a chance not long ago. Very soon I'm going to give you a chance to use a calculator to calculate percentages. Right, can we convert the following fractions now? Use a calculator, and then if your answer is a decimal fraction, please round off to do decimal places. Now we have 35. We have 35 over 50. So before we can start using the calculator, I'll give you a chance now to use a calculator, to use the other method, which requires a calculator. But right now, I just want you to calculate the following in a manner that will, in the manner in which we have done in the previous one. We have used 35 over 50. And then let's convert 50 to 100. Let's convert 35 over 50. So 35 over 50, then 50 is a denominator. Then if you multiply that by 2, you'll see that it will give you it will give you 100. And then you do the same with 35. If you multiply 35 by 2, you get 70. So 70% will be A. A will be 70%. So yes, Lesedi got that right. And then I hope that Ntlantla will rectify as well. But before we can carry on, yes, Ntlantla, thanks. Let us now take out our calculators. Please take out your calculator now. If you have your calculator in front of you, just type yes. If you already have your calculator, I just want to check how many of you have got calculators. We are now going to use a calculator. Right? Any other person? Asanda, yes. Even those who have not spoken before, if you have a calculator, please just say yes. Right, Therese? Right, it seems that many of us now have our calculators ready. Right, Amukhelang, Lizanne, thank you so much. Now I want you to type in your calculator now. Just press the following 35. You press 35 there, and then the division sign. And then press 50. So it's 35, division sign, and then 50. And then press the equal sign. What do you get? Lesedi says 1.7, Kantla says 0.7, others 0.7. Lesedi, just check your answer correctly there. Just do it again, Lesedi, 35 divided by 50. So you get 0.7, yes. Most of you get 0.7. Great, Lesedi, I see you. Lizanne, thank you, and Kantla, Lesedi, and Kylie. Right, now that you have 0.7, please multiply that by 100. Times 100, what do you get? Okay, Lesedi is the first, you got 70. Okay, great, that's the correct answer. Kylie also 70, Therese 70, Cesar also 70. Great, and Tlantla as well. We have now found that if we multiply 0.7, we get 70. So thank you, Lizanne, as well. Lizanne got it right as well, that is 70. So now this means 70% will be your the percentage of 35 over 50. So what you do, if you want to calculate that, you press 35, you divide by 50, and then you get a decimal fraction, and then you multiply that by 100. It will take you directly straight to the percentage. All right, that is how we do the percentage. So now I'm giving you a chance to do it with a 4 over 21. Can we use your calculator once again? Press 4 divided by 21 and tell me, write down the decimal fraction that you get there. 0, comma, it will be a long number, I think. Yes, this is, Lesedi is checking. Is this the way to check the percentage of the learner? Yes, that is the way to check your percentage. If you get anything, let's say you write a test and you get 4 out of 21, then that's how you check the percentage. Kylie, I don't agree. We are now at 4 over 21. 4 divided by 21. Okay, Therese got it right, I see. Yes. Therese, you are right. That is the correct decimal fraction there. 0.190476. And Tlantla as well got that right. 0.190476190476. All right, great. What else? Now that you have this long decimal fraction, can you multiply that by 100, please? Tlantla and Therese, please multiply your answer by 100. The study says mine is 2. The study, we are dividing 4 by 21. Please make sure that your settings, your calculator settings are correct. Just check your settings. Right, Ntlantla got that one right. Okay, Ntlantla. Okay, I don't, all right, fine. Ntlantla, Is this what you get in your calculator? Because it should give you 19,04. Yes, like Cesar. Just check Cesar's answer. That is the correct answer, 19,04761905. That is the answer. Now, Cesar got that right, and Lesedi as well, I see. Can you now round off the answer correct to 2 decimal places? Let's round off the answer now. Do you remember how to round off? Let's round off. Lesedi, I see you still have your full answer there. Can you please round it off to 2 decimals? Cesar, please round off your answer. It will be 19,0. Can you round off? Are you struggling with rounding off? Remember, when it comes to rounding off, look at the number that is just next to 4 there. That is 7. So 7 is bigger than 5. Lisanne says yes, she's struggling with rounding off. Right, look at 19,0476. So 2 decimals there are 0 and 4. But because of the 7, which comes after 4, 7 is bigger than 5. Therefore, it will affect the previous digit, which is 4. So the 4 will change now and become 5. I see Therese has done it correctly to say 19,05. I see also Cesar, you have calculated, you have rounded off correctly, Lesedi as well. Great. So this is how you calculate the percentage, and at times you can be asked to round off your answer to any decimal places. In this case, we have asked you to do 2 decimal places. Right, we have finished with 4/21. We are now coming to 7/8. Once again, you do the same. Use your calculator, press 7, and then divide it by 8. What is the decimal that you get there? Decimal number or decimal fraction? 7 divided by 8. I see Therese got 0.86875. Cesar as well. Lesedi, you got 1,875. Can you do it again? Just press 7 and divide that by 8. Okay, great. 0, so there's a comma there, I believe, Lesedi. 0,875. Yes, Kylie, that's correct. Atlanta has already now multiplied by 100. I can see your answer there, Atlanta. So everyone else, if you done multiply by 100, Asanda got 87.5%. Cesar got 87.5%. Same goes to Lesedi. Therese as well got 87.5. That's the correct answer. The answer is correct. So I hope that you can see now, this is how you find the percentage. You divide your fraction, and then you get a decimal fraction, then you multiply by 100. Right, let's go to the last one now, 9/14. Let's go to 9/14. Right, 9/14, I see Therese and Asanda, who else? Ntantla as well, Ntantla has already multiplied. Cesar as well, 0.6428. That is correct. Kylie, that's also correct. Kylie Kutia. Therese as well as Ntantla and Asanda, Cesar as well. So Cesar and Therese and Asanda, please multiply your answer by 100. Right, Asanda got 64,2857129. Can you now round off your answer, Asanda, the same goes for you, Cesar. Please round off to 2 decimals. Taris, that's the correct answer. Please round off to 2 decimals. Lesedi, that's the correct answer. Also round off. Please round off, Lesedi. Cesar has rounded off now to 64,29. Great. I like the fact that you rounded off correctly. Lesedi as well. Remember 64,2857. So 5 will be influenced by 7 to become 6, and the 6 will influence 8 there. So 8 becomes 9. Right, I agree. That's what Tyrese is saying. Same, Asanda. Thank you very much indeed. Kylie also got 64,29. So this is basically how you calculate the percentage. So you have now converted the fractions into percentages, and that's how you proceed without, when you use a calculator. So we have now converted fractions without using a calculator. We have also converted using a calculator. So there are 2 ways to convert these fractions. I hope that it makes sense. So the previous one, as you can see, this is what we did, and it started with the denominator, where we have shown the importance of getting your denominator to be 100. And then, of course, once your denominator is 100, you know that the numerator becomes the percentage. And we have done this with the 4 problems that we have just done now. In 36 over 50, which is D, you multiplied 50 by 2 to get 100. And remember that whatever you do to the denominator should also be done to the numerator. And the numerator in this case was 36. And then we multiplied that by 2 as well to get 72%. And then in the same note, we have converted fractions into percentage without using a calculator. So let me give you some clue. In most cases, if you are required to convert a fraction without using a calculator, in most cases, the denominator will be a factor of 100. So it means that the denominator can go into 100 without a remainder. That's how it is. Like in this case, 3 over 4, 4 can go into 100 without a remainder. And 4 over 5, 5 can go into 100 without a remainder. And then 50 can also go into 100 without a remainder. What about 25? Even 25 can go into 100 without a remainder. That is why you can be able to convert such fractions without using a calculator. All right. Now, the next set of fractions where we had to use a calculator, in most cases, the denominators are not always the factors of 100. Except for A in these activities. In A, I gave you A because I wanted to demonstrate that you can do A without using a calculator, but at the same time, you can also use a calculator. So a calculator can be used anyway. The previous examples, you can even use a calculator. But if you are told not to use a calculator, then you should be able to solve the problem. And then this one from B, unfortunately, you have to use a calculator here. And how do you do that? You simplify your fraction into a decimal fraction, and then you multiply the answer by 100. All right. So I hope that it makes sense. Let's proceed now to the next activity, or rather the example. I'm now going to take you through an example where we must calculate the percentage. Here's an example. What percentage is 18 rands of 144? So now we are talking about money here. What percentage is 18 rands of 144 rands? So what we need to do in this case is to find out the value, this value 18 rands. What is the percentage? So it means we need to write 18 rands in percentage form, but not just 18 rands. That is 18 rands of 144. Say, for instance, you have to pay, excuse me, you have to pay 144 rands. And now you are required to subtract 18 rands there. How much is that in percentage? Because you can express money in percentage form. The manner in which we calculate this, we take the 18 rands, and then we divide it by 144. Then we multiply the answer by 100. Alternatively, you can multiply the numerator there by 100 to get 1,800, and then you divide by 144. So the 18 rands of 144 is the same as 18 over 144 times 100. That is the percentage that we're seeking. And of course, 1,800 divided by 144 gives you 12,5. Yes, I can email the slide. I see that there's a question there from Little Projects. To everyone, I will email the slide. No problem. If you can give me your email address there, I can email it or I can send it via WhatsApp is fine. Right, 12,5%. This is what we have. And then we have now shown that this is the percentage, which is 18 rands of 144. So if we ask you a question, what percentage is 18 rands of 144? The answer will be 18 over 144, and then you multiply by 12,5. 18 over 144, and then you multiply by 100 there. And then, of course, the answer will be 12,5%. I hope that everybody has found this particular exercise as we correctly capture the little projects. I'm capturing your email address as well, just so that I can send you the slide. And so I have your email address. I'll email it to you shortly after this lesson. So now, can we now use this example to calculate the following? Calculate the following percentages. 1, what percentage is 6 of 60? What percentage is 6 of 60? What percentage of 6 is 60? What percentage of 6 is 60? Can we start by calculating the percentage using the previous example? I've noted your request, Sakile. Right, I see Cesar says it will be 10%, and I fully agree with you, Cesar. 10% will be the correct answer there, because if you multiply or if you divide that number 6 by 60, you should be able to see that this becomes 1 over 10. And of course, if you multiply that by 100, this will be 10%. So 10% there would be the correct answer. Kylie got it right, Lisedi as well got it right, and they are saying they got 10%. So as we did with the previous example, this will be 6 out of 60, then you multiply by 100. Right, Cesar is already doing the second one, B. Remember 6 over 60. 6 into 6 goes once into 60, 10 times. So you basically have the fraction there, 1 over 10 or 0.1 is fine. And then if you multiply that by 100, then you get 10%. So Cesar in B has now found that we are sitting at 25%. I want to fully agree with you, Cesar, because one rand and 5 cents of 4 rands and 20 cents will definitely be 25%, because the 1 rand of 4 rand is 25 pence. In fact, the 1 rand is 25% of 4 rands. And then the 5 cents is 25% of the 20 cents. So definitely, all that you need to do is to divide. You'll say that 1,05 divided by 4,20. And thereafter, you multiply your decimal fraction by 100. And you'll see that it will give you 25%. Lisedi says he got 0.25. 0.25. Lisedi, if you divide 1, yes, you are right. If you divide 1,05 by 4,20 there, you get 0.25. I fully agree with you. But then, remember, I said you multiply that 0.25 by 100. So if you multiply that by 100, you get 25. Right? Now Cesar is doing C, and then Cesar found 10%, followed by Kylie, followed by Sakile, together with Lisedi. Right? We have 10%. And of course, how do you get this 10%? You take 10, and then you divide it by 100, and then you multiply by 100. You'll see that 100 will cancel out with the other 100, and the answer will be 10. Or alternatively, if you multiply 10 by 100, that is 1,000. So 1,000 divided by 100 is 10. So 10% is the answer. Cesar got it right as well, together with, or at Lisanne, I believe you are doing the last one now. Lisanne and Lisedi, you are in the last one because you got 16%. Ntlantla as well got 16%. Yes, I agree fully. I fully agree with you. The final answer will be 16%. And how do you get this? This will be 4 divided by 25. You divide 4 by 25, and I'm sure you'll get 0.16, and then you multiply that by 100. So we multiply that by 100, and then of course, this will be 16%. Sakile, I've got your email address. It's intact, and then I will send you the entire, what you have requested, the slide that you have requested. And don't worry much. I will communicate with you next week in as far as the assessments are concerned. So there's no need to panic at this stage. We still have to finalize everything with the management, the HOD, and then we will probably take you through the assessments next week. We'll start with the informal assessments, of course, and then we will take it from there. So there's no need to panic, unless, of course, if there's a burning question that you want to ask. But my worry is that we have now come to the end of our lesson. Please feel free at any time to send us an email at STEM Digital School at africateamgeeks.co.za. This lesson was brought to you by the STEM Digital School in partnership with the Sasol Foundation. Until we meet again next week, thank you very much indeed.